This week, something a little bit special. It is Kia's brand new EV, the EV6. Kia have made a lot of this car, mainly because it is their first purpose-built from the ground up EV that they've sold in Australia. All of the others have been compromised slightly by an internal combustion engine. First of all, there's the looks. This thing looks completely different. It's streamlined and the front looks very slightly space age. It's a bit of a departure from Kias of the past. And the important thing is the quality is a massive step up. And in the back seat, there is a mountain of space. First of all, this beautiful sculptural headrest of the seat in front. This is all plastic, but somehow it still manages to look really classy. There's this much headroom, despite the fact that this is a top all-wheel drive model and has a sunroof. And this upholstery is, they say, vegan leather. It looks absolutely luxurious. Again, this is not weird. It's not weird like some electric cars that are weird just for the sake of it. This looks and feels like a normal car.
The interior has a slightly organic feel with twin 12.3-inch screens. There's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto by USB and a 14-speaker Meridian sound system. There are cool aluminium pedals and a Qi charger. The directional selector is a dial with a park button. The most efficient way to heat and cool is by direct touch. So front seats are heated and cooled, and there's a heated steering wheel too. The flat battery pack and lack of transmission tunnel make the floor flat, allowing for an aircraft-style dual-layer console. You can select colour lighting to suit your mood, and the touch controls can switch between navigation and climate.
We're in a nice leisurely mode now, and the acceleration is gentle. In fact, it's luxurious. And that's a word I'd use to describe this car, luxurious. It's not overtly luxurious like an Audi or a BMW, but then it costs half the price. You could get two of these for an electric Audi. Now we're up to speed, 80 kilometers an hour. The cabin is incredibly quiet, and that's for a couple of reasons. This is the top model, the all-wheel drive model. There's also a rear-wheel drive of this, and there's also an Air, which is a little bit stripped out, but it's still nearly $70,000. This has got acoustic front glass to make things a little bit quieter, and it's also got artificial engine sound, which, to be honest with you, I could do without. But one of the most important things about this particular car is it comes with the matte grey option. And Kia Australia have decided that every car that has the matte grey option will have a ceramic coating. At this speed, I've got in front of me the energy monitor, so it shows me what wheels are doing what and how much energy I'm using. Now, the theoretical range of the base model is about 520, 528 kilometers. You add engines and all-wheel drive and that goes down. And we were driving this car around Canberra earlier in the week when the weather was considerably better. The thing is, it depends on how you drive. If you put it in sport mode and plant your foot to the floor, it feels fantastic. But by God, it chews through your range. Of course, there's all of the modern Kia stuff. In fact, apart from the driveline, this is just a regular Kia, despite how it looks. The dashboard, with its dual screens, provides just the right amount of information. It looks space age, but not weird. There's a heads-up display too in this top model, and the interior itself, everything is easy to get at. I can get at the buttons on the console, I can get at the switches, I can get at the dials. Someone has sat in this car when they were designing it and actually designed it for a person. In fact, I feel like they designed it for me. And after 4 or 5 hours in the saddle, broken up by bits of coffee and donuts and what have you, as if I needed more donuts, this thing still felt as comfortable as it did the moment I got in. Now, the ride is sublime, and Kia's Tuning guru Graham Gambold has made sure that the ride is good without being too firm, and that the handling is sporty-ish, which is Graham's bent, without being too harsh. Now, the program wasn't quite as Graham would have liked because COVID has pretty much decimated travel for the last couple of years. But even so, this feels, again, limousine-ish and luxurious. Charging. Charging is one of the things that is the bane of most EV owners' lives. You've got to spend half an hour or so at a Bowser charging your car. Well, but when I've had a car with a battery this big, I've gone to a fast charger, a 350 kilowatt charger, and plugged it in, gone upstairs, had a cup of coffee, and from 20% it's gone to 80% in the time it's taken to order and pick up my coffee. Now, that means that you could theoretically drive from, say, Sydney to Brisbane or Sydney to Melbourne and wait no longer at a roadside charging station than you would if you were filling with petrol and getting a coffee. And that is significant. And the New South Wales government is currently rolling out plenty of charging across the state on well-travelled routes. I've just put it in sport mode. I noticed I got a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra spring in my step. The other thing is when you put your indicators on, you get a little picture of the side of the car in your instrument cluster. That's not unusual for a Hyundai Group car, with which Kia is a part, but it is, once you've had it, it's really difficult to live without it. Going around these tight corners, this thing sticks to the road. Now, I'm not going particularly fast, but it feels amazing and it feels instant. I'm just going to enter the freeway from stop. Oh, Jesus! And I'm at 80. Now, if that's not enough power for you, I don't know what is. That is in sport mode with the all-wheel drive, this slightly greasy road, didn't break traction. It's just a brilliant thing. As for all the safety gizmos, that's the same as in a regular Kia, and I'll put a list of those in the link in the description below. The same goes for the driver aids. So you could, if you wanted, get into this car in Sydney, put the automatic steering on, put the automatic lane control on, put the automatic cruise control on, and really you don't have to do much. In fact, you almost don't need to be there. You could fly on and just have the car meet you. And as luck would have it, here is the opposition. For around the same money, you can get that Tesla. That Tesla is weird. It's got a center screen that all of your driver information on. It doesn't have any buttons. Everything is difficult to use, and you really need a scientific degree to operate it. With this, if you can drive a normal car, you can drive this. There is no difference between this and any other internal combustion engine car on the road until it comes time to fill up. And that is something I think is amazing. And that is what will get this car much love. Now, interestingly, 500 units came into the country. All 500 units were sold, every single one. The same went for the Hyundai IONIQ5. 500 came in and they were all snapped up. Kia would sell as many as they could possibly get a hold of, but sadly, that's our lot, at least for the duration. The majority of those sales were this model, the top all-wheel drive model. People like the extras, they like the second motor. And of course, there's plenty of power. I don't say this often, and I get asked it all the time. What car do I get excited about? Well, I'm not excited about this, but I do love it. And in many ways, that's what really matters, because I would pay for this car myself. That's all this week from Kia's EV6. It is one of the nicest cars I've driven, and it's certainly one of the nicest looking EVs I've driven. It's not weird like Tesla. It doesn't have things growing off the roof. It is brilliant. and I think the other brands really should be very worried. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just there to subscribe.